them, bless their day, dear Lord, and watch over them. And for us, use this time to teach us, dear God, to encourage us, to strengthen us, dear Lord. And we thank you, Father, for your word. It teaches us so much about who we are and how you put us together and how you've called us to serve one another. Jesus, please be blessed in all our conversations and in all the teaching. And we, again, thank you for this time. And we thank you for the ladies who worked really hard to make breakfast for us this morning. And they did a fantastic job last night. We're grateful for their ministry to us. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. All right, so let's do this. Now, a lot of people, we have some people who are visiting with us, but we have people who are going, I don't know who they are. And so we have two worship services. And sometimes the couples are preparing to get married.
Today's session,
But,
so if you guys
and you
want
can
to watch
announce
from
that.
home.
And if you've been married, tell us how long you've been married. And then tell us, tell us what service you go to. Is that what you said? So 3 things. Name, how long you've been married, what service you go to. All right, we're going to start with Jody.
All right. We've got our books. Cameron's in the car getting our books. So Jody and Cameron Porter, we've been married for almost 6 years. We go to, we're kind of both service and serving, but we primarily attend second service. And so, yeah.
Cool.
That's it. Got 3
Thank
little
you.
kids.
Well, we're glad you're here. You can look up books. There's some stuff.
Yeah, Cameron got some. He's going to get it in the car. Of course, we left, but we were just in a rush.
Oh,
Thanks so much.
I
Yeah,
thought
he's
maybe
getting
you
those.
left them at home. So.
That's what he did. He left them at home, so
Yeah, we like got our books, so hopefully it doesn't fall on the ice coming in. I feel like, yeah, the ice vibes.
Why wasn't it his responsibility to get these?
He just ran to grab them.
Ta-da!
He just scoots in and takes care of things, sometimes, you know?
It's awesome that way.
He is.
Awesome. Okay, Smiths.
Jason and Susan, we go first service usually, but second sometimes. 22 years married.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I need those weddings. I've been here for a while. Yes.
I'm Jason Fletcher, it's my wife Teresa. We are second service people, and this June will mark 25 for us.
Beautiful. Fantastic. Fantastic. Jeff.
Jeff and Nola Wagner. We've been married 23 years. And we attend first, second service in between all that stuff.
They do. They're here all the time. Good workers.
But we love it. We love the church. We love the family here. And,
Thank you.
4 kids, I think. That's it. Don't care what love language. No more kids. Grandkids. Yeah. But yeah, that's it.
Wonderful. God bless you guys. Yes, the Melzer.
Andrew and Rebecca Melzer, we have been married for a little over 6 years, and we're just here all day on Sundays.
I think so.
Live here.
Yeah, technically.
Yes, of course. Awesome.
Stanton and Angie McClanahan, first service. And
But I'm here all day.
All week.
And 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
We got Bob. I'm sure everyone else knows Angie now. She runs the office there for us. Appreciate all Angie does. Appreciate all Becca does as well. So she's been with us for 9 years.
9 years.
Wow. Time just flies, man. Awesome. Okay, Missy. Miss Raylene.
I go by Miss Raylene, Mimi, Missy, obviously woman, you know. Whatever is affectionate term for me of the day. But Raylene and Russ, we've been married 35 years this year. So yeah, we have 4 kids and 1 grandson.
We do.
And we come both services. Yep.
And our friends from Harrisburg, introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Brandy. This is Michael. We don't go to either service, 'cause we don't live here. We're friends of the Moldovans. We are not married yet. Next month, we'll have been together for 4 years, but we're getting married in June of 2025.
Awesome, awesome. We're glad you guys made it. They actually watched us, some live stream last night, so, cool. Glad you guys are here. Awesome. Okay, well,
We
go
are
with it.
Rachel and Alex Moldovan. In 12 days, we're coming up on our first official year, but also 4 years. We got married on weekdays, so that's fun.
Yeah.
We go to second service.
That's it. So, he was pretty smart, you know, I know he's only gotta buy her a gift once every 4 years, so.
This would be funny.
It was
He
fun.
liked it.
I do like it.
Awesome. Glad they are here too. All right, we'll keep going back.
Oh, go ahead.
This is my wife Sarah. I'm Ravi. We've been married for, well, it'll be 8 years in September.
Already?
We normally attend first service.
Okay, yeah. They're part of a big family. I look back, they take up a whole section of the church. Yeah, parents, grandparents,
Cousins, aunts,
cousins,
uncles.
brothers, sisters, great, awesome. When you own a whole section like that at church, that's awesome. Yes, Ben.
Ben and Laura Hoffman, we go to attend second service, and we're going on our 15 years of marriage here in August.
Good for you guys. That's fantastic. All right. Okay. Dave.
I'm Dave. This is my wife Deb. We're Monroe's. And we go to the second service. And I gotta tell you, it's only by the grace of God that this woman has been able to put up with me for almost 35 years.
Awesome. We're glad you guys. I think you guys were the first people to join this year, or the last people to join last year? The first this year. First year, that's right. And as I said, because they were the first for 2022, they got a new car. There's a hold me to it now.
It was you though,
We'll talk later. We'll talk later. We're glad they're here. God bless you guys. Their daughter's my vet. Makes house calls still. God bless her.
And just to say that my grandkids can both back up. Laura and
Fantastic.
I talked about back up all the time.
I love that.
So thank you.
Thank you,
because
absolutely, thank you.
Having them come here and it's just a big conference.
Awesome. Well, we're glad you're with us now too. Fantastic. Yes.
We are Jesse and Ross Driver, and we go to first service. We actually tried second service, I think, like the first time we came here, and they didn't have childcare both times. We're like first service, and then they got us into the team and waking up, and so now we're first service people, and we just couldn't do it any other way.
We're 5 minutes late first.
Well, we have been married 8 years.
Beautiful. So, yeah, I baptized them Easter Sunday. Was it Easter Sunday? I remember. Awesome. Glad you guys are with us. I got 2 little ones. Yes. Fantastic. So we're talking about services. Now, it's interesting because we weren't always a 2-service church. We used to be a 1-service church. Went to 2, and for the longest time, first service, most churches, the second service was usually more full, but forever, our first service was full, which is not so unusual when you think this used to be a farming community. People would get up really early. However, I was thinking to myself, we only have a couple farmers in the church. So, but people like to get up early here. So, hey, first service, second service.
It's we have more time in the afternoon to like get our.
More time in afternoon? Okay, got you. Perfect. All right, come on over. Susan.
Hi, Susan Bunnier, this is my husband Mike. He doesn't like changes, so that's it, switch churches. Yeah.
No pressure, Mike.
I come to first service, and we've been married 55 years.
Fantastic. God bless you. Great to have you, Mike. Great to have you, Susan, of course. Yeah. And Susan, she's joined within the last year, too. Great to have
I didn't
her.
get a new car though.
You need to call. We're working on it.
That's gonna
She likes horses.
I'm gonna bring some Matchbox cars.
That's what I was gonna say, we're gonna buy Matchbox cars.
I know, it's just so cool, you know, it's just so cool to say, so that's just. All right, everybody, you guys here. All right,
I guess I'm the spokesperson. I wanted her to do it, but I'm Rich, and this is my wife Joy. We're Rebecca's parents. We've been married 35 years.
fantastic.
September, I think. Isn't that right? You gotta ask. I got it on my ring.
Good.
So he doesn't forget.
Perfect. Yeah, you guys are here. Rodriguez.
Oh, wait, sorry, I attend any service that I need.
He's out there in the back, running stuff, running the sound system, that's right. Thank you.
Sorry.
No, you're good, you're good.
This is Brenda Rodriguez. We've been married for 12 years. We live here at the church. Usually it's 10 second service.
Usually, that's
We're
right.
the church custodians, so we're literally always here.
They are here all the time, appreciate them, God bless them. Yeah, you got beautiful children, fantastic. We'll keep moving.
I'm Whitney, and this is my fiance, Brad. We're getting married in May.
The third?
Fourth.
The fourth.
May the force be with you.
And we attend second service.
Second service, great. That's good. Awesome. You want to go around and come back? All right, here. Oh, we already did. Yeah, we already did. Go ahead, Martha, you got to talk now.
Well, it's Jim and Martha Fisher. We've been here, I think, 15, 18, some, I don't know, somewhere in there. And what else are we supposed to say?
How many years were you married?
45 years this year.
Whoa! Anybody longer than 45 years? Oh, I'm gonna sit down your teacher. They get two cars. All right, beautiful, awesome.
Russ, I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
How many couples in this room have you married?
All right, if I'm married, you raise your hand. Look, my marriage is sticky. All right.
That's a lot of couples.
It's a lot of couples.
Do you know how many you married in your?
You know what? I should, if I spent maybe 10 minutes on my computer, I keep all my ceremonies. I could probably count through and figure it out. It's
at least 100.
At least 100. Yeah, maybe I don't know. 100. That's a lot. Think about it. At least.
Whose was your favorite?
There is a right answer to
that. So, you know, I mean, because some years, like this year, I have one. I have your wedding on the docket. But I remember some years I had 8.
14 one year.
I had 14 one year. So,
yeah, I had to do childcare and find childcare for like 14 Sundays and Saturdays.
oh, you know, I did private weddings too.
Yes, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I did. That's right.
Yeah.
I did
He
Richard's
does a
dad.
phenomenal job, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, I forgot one. So I did Millie's first wedding, or her second, and I got a phone call from the house. Hey, are you still doing the wedding? Oh, I had to get dressed and get over here. That only happened once. It's only happened once. It was a private ceremony. Only happened once. But yeah, so quite a few. So, anyway, I'm glad you guys are here today. You know, we've asked the Lord's blessing, and so we covered a lot of stuff yesterday. We're not in a rush this morning. Things are that was the core, a big core last night. So we've got some breathing room this morning. Is there anything else you want to say, or any more questions you want to ask regarding yesterday?
Well, Rebecca and I need to have some women time because we missed out on what they had.
They laughed and carried on out there.
All right. And those ladies here took great notes, so absolutely, absolutely.
Some things, Raylene, we didn't take on.
All right. What we're gonna do is we are on words of affirmation. In your book.
Page 13. Page 13.
Page 13. So we covered affection. Right? We talked about what affection is for him and what is for her. We went back and clarified some things that if we need, we can clarify even more. So this is another love language, and so we are on the main point 2, and words of affirmation means giving your spouse words that build up. Words that build up, that's A. And so there are various kinds of dialects of affirmation. First of all, number 1, there are compliments. Compliments. Someone once said that he gave his wife a different compliment every day for a year. Think about that. He gave his wife a compliment, a new one, every day for a year. How did he do that? Well, he would say, well, your left eye is beautiful. Your right eye is beautiful. That tooth in the back. He goes, he just took his time. Alrighty. Examples. You look lovely today. You look mighty handsome. Wow, what a delicious meal. You're the best cook. Ladies, what are some compliments you like to hear?
How can I help you?
All right. Now listen, that's also a sign of a love language. Which one is that?
Acts of service.
Ooh, so you guys are figuring it out already. All righty. Any others, ladies? Go ahead. It's your chance.
I folded the laundry.
I folded the laundry. Yes.
That's a good one.
That's a great
It makes
one.
my heart happy.
It makes your heart happy. All right, I love it.
Now, since I put it away too, you're in good shape, right?
Put it away too. All right. Ladies, it's your chance. Anything else you want to get out there?
You're a great mom.
You're a great mom. Okay.
Well, you're
Yeah.
gonna be a great mom.
You're going to be a great mom. All right. Any others? Those are all good. Okay. Guys, our turn. What would you like to hear?
Proud of you.
Proud of you. You know what? And to go back to this book here, remember, admiration was a huge one. Admiration was a huge one. When Paul talks about Ephesians 5, he says, wives, respect your husbands. I think he's touching on an admiration issue, you know? And he's not being, obviously he's not being, some kind of that text gets mishandled where the guys look at it as an overlord. It's not about that. It's about a deep emotional need. Men just have this need to be respected. They go to work all day, maybe the boss browbeats them and so forth. They want to come home and go, oh, at least my wife respects me. That might not get respected at work, or what I do during the day, but I come home and my wife, she treats me with respect. It fills a deep need. It's not about an ego thing, it's just how we're hardwired. So, hey guys, anything else you want to say? Yes, Ben.
Dinner's ready.
Dinner's Dinner's ready. Laura, you're welcome to respond.
That's because I can't do it right now.
God bless you.
Poor guy comes home from work and has to make dinner.
God bless you.
I can't, that wasn't.
Your husband's fantastic. He's been a tremendous servant. I know. God bless you both. Yes. Any others? Any others, gentlemen?
Well, I've been told I'm a good pop.
That's good. That's a good feeling, isn't it?
That makes me feel good.
Grandkids are awesome. They're awesome.
Thank you for being you.
Thank you for being you. Yeah. Yeah. That's a great affirming word. Any others? Yeah.
Well, one thing Sabrina's told me is that really hits home is she's told me before that I'm doing better than my mom.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We could, after we do this, maybe we should have a parenting seminar. We have a parenting seminar coming up.
In April.
Yeah, it's tough. It's the toughest job I've ever had. personally, I think parenting's more difficult than your marriage. It just is. It's just, yeah. All the kids are different, they have different needs, different expectations, they have different challenges, yeah. Absolutely. That's a good word. Any others? Any others? Okay. So another one is, number 2, encouraging words. Words that instill courage. Words that instill courage. Encouraging words are powerful in the midst of a tragedy or disappointment. So I was thinking about this. So what are some encouraging words? I mean, I think you gave some, but sometimes we can encourage people who, you know, that they're kind of afraid to go back to school or try to do something new, you know. So
I
it's more
believe
than
in
a
you.
I believe in you, yeah. So
You can do it.
Yeah, an encouraging word is different than a compliment. An encouraging word is helping somebody, pushing them forward a little bit. If there's something they really want to do, they just need somebody to give them a little push. You know, you can do this. You're smart. You can go back to school. You know, you could be a better parent. You could do this. You are a good parent, and you can continue to strive. I mean, so an encouraging word is more of a coaching word. You know, coaching people up. I have faith in you. Yeah. You know what'll be a beautiful, encouraging word? We're told in the scriptures that when we're all done in this life, we appear before the Lord. You know what Jesus is going to say?
Well done.
Well done.
Good.
Well done. Good and faithful servant. Well done. Encouraging words are powerful in the midst of tragedy or disappointment. Here is what the Apostle Paul wrote. At 1 Thessalonians 5. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, or build up each other, as indeed you are doing. So he acknowledges they're doing it, and he's saying, keep doing it. You're doing it, keep doing it. Here's another one. Hebrews 3:13. But encourage one another today, as long as it is called today, so that none of you may be hardened by sin's deceitfulness. Then we know the devil's working overtime constantly, tempting, discouraging, and so forth. One way we can combat that each other is we can encourage each other. We do it in our marriages, we do it as parents, we do it as a church family, we come to church. We don't know what kind of weeks folks have had, and we can encourage each other. We can build each other up. Here's number 3. Kind words. Kind words are with reference to the manner in which we speak. It's not always what you say, it's, what is it, guys?
How you say it.
That's it. How you say it. These are some beautiful, I memorized some of these proverbs here. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger.
I like the one about a dripping roof. Yeah, where at? Quarrelsome wife.
Well, a man can be put in there too. Quarrelsome man. I think there's some inclusive language there that could be added. You know, we can learn to say things softly. Even our statements that might come across negatively, if it needs to be said, we do it in a soft and loving way. There's a kind way to give a legitimate complaint. And again, that's part of communication. We all know. Sometimes if we're not happy with something, we got to communicate it. But people know when you're doing it and you're trying to be loving about it. No, most people sense that. Most people sense that. Number 4, humble words. Humble words. Love makes requests, not demands. Love makes requests, not demands. Do you guys want to give us an example of a request as opposed to a demand? Go take the trash out. Would you take the trash out? Okay, yeah. I'm just adding a couple words of yeah, please. Yeah, please. Yeah, would you? Of course. A demand is very declarative, upfront. There's no way that shows I appreciate you, or I would appreciate even more if you did this for me. This would help me. So When you make a request, you are affirming your spouse's ability, and you bring in the element of choice. Love is always a choice. Love is never forced. Love respects free will, always gives the other the ability to say no. It's not a demand. Love never manipulates. Love is patient. You know, 1 Corinthians 4. Love is patient. Love is kind. Does not envy. Does not boast. Is not proud. Is not rude. Is not self-seeking. Is not easily angered. Does not keep any record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. So you see the context of love. And there it is. It's on your sheet. It's on your sheet. Let's see. Let's see. So how to speak, or excuse me, how to learn to speak words of affirmation. Breaking the barrier. So here's the first thing you can do. Make a list of things you like about your spouse. Be prepared. Don't be prepared. Sometimes you just need to do it. Just sit down and just think of some ways to get creative, so you're not always thanking for the same things. I mean, although sometimes people like to be thanked for the same things, but you get creative and point out some other things, and also surprise your mate by showing how you appreciate those other things as well. So you make a list. Number one, write a sentence expressing appreciation for those things. I appreciate you for the hard work you do for our family, or whatever. And you're going, well, this is really elementary. But for some people, though, you know, that's not who they are. And so that means you're going to learn this love language, right? If this is not something that comes natural to you, then put a little effort into it. Write some sentences. Secondly, B, then you practice saying it. You guys practice talking in the mirror? Never? If I have a really important conversation I want you to have, sometimes I will listen to myself talk about it, just because what you think or what you write is not the same thing as how it comes out of your mouth. In fact, for the sermons on Sunday I talk through all that stuff. Because the sermon is more, it's not just a document that you're reading. You know, you are delivering a message, and part of that it involves a lot of things. Not just the sound of words coming out of your mouth, it's your facial expressions. It involves the way you say things and how you put things together. So there are a lot of elements to communication, more than just words, right? Right? The body posture, we can go through a whole bunch of different other elements that are part of communication. So sometimes practicing it in front of a mirror can be helpful. Then you walk in a room, and while she is off guard, you say it. I'm on C. She doesn't even need to be looking at you. Just surprise her, or him. Just go in there and give it a shot. So you're going, man, Ross, this is pretty basic 101. Okay, but not everybody, you're assuming everybody can do this readily. A lot of folks, they might need a little bit of coaching. So we're breaking it down. We're going to write the sentence. We're going to practice it. We're going to walk in the room. And D, it will be easier each time you do it. Yes. What's that?
Hon, I bought a new gun.
Hon, I bought a new gun.
And he said, oh, it'll get easier every time I say it.
Yeah. All right. So we got some other issues going on. Yeah.
One of the biggest words is the I love you.
Huh?
The biggest words of affirmation that we can say is I love you. We often think, they know I love them, so why do I have to tell them that every day? But it's important to hear that. Like on the Fiddler of the Roof. You know that I love you, you know, but I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Side note, is that the clip you showed in
Yes.
Fiddler of the Roof?
Yeah, you want to watch that movie. That's a great movie.
I watched that on Sunday.
Did you? Did you stream it? How did you watch it? On what device? Did you? Or
On my free tablet, that's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Amazon.
Okay. All right. That's a fantastic movie. Fantastic movie.
I think what a man's problem would be in doing this is getting her undivided attention. You know, I mean, that, just walk in a room, my wife's doing 30 things. In the background, I have no idea what she's doing.
Sure.
So,
Well, and that's not, and I agree with you, and it's not gender specific either. I mean, guys can be that way too. So, but absolutely, slowing down, and you know what you could do? Sometimes you just might want to go and just grab her by the hand. All right, just hold her hand for a minute, and just say it. All right. Okay.
He's grabbing the wrong thing.
I used to work with this one.
But you know, that's the power of physical touch too. We talk about communication. Sometimes you put your hand on someone's shoulder and you go, oh, this is important. I'm looking, you know, what I'm looking at you now because you touched me on the shoulder. You must want to say something that's really important to you. So again, lots of levels of communication here. So we're on number 2 here. Listen to others when they offer compliments. Are there people in your life? I mean, there's some people in my life that I respect, and every once in a while I'll have them do something and I go, oh, that's beautiful, beautiful. And let's back up. I want to back up also what Randy said earlier about saying I love you. So for the longest time growing up, I had a great stepfather. He raised me as his own. But when I was younger, he never said I love you. And when I went off to college and came back, I just started telling him. And he always said it back. And it's easy now, but for the longest time, for the first 20 years of our relationship, we just never did that. And I just thought, no, you're not getting away with that. I know you care about me, I care about you. And my stepfather still lives today. In fact, I call him Dad. But yeah, when we talk on the phone, when we're done, I love you, Dad. So absolutely, those things, the more you do it, the easier it gets. So number 2, listen to others. And finally, go to a card shop. I joked about this, but seriously, if you just go to a card shop, spend 10 minutes just looking at some cards and looking at how people express love. What are you doing? You're not copywriting, you're just training yourself. Just training yourself. Unique ways to say I care about you. Like, you mean a lot to me. I love you. So, you do that.
Russ, just like when Rich said that question, you don't know if she'll hear you, she'll listen. Well, that's the part of it. So since we're both learning that when one makes an effort, whichever one that is, the other one needs to also make an effort to acknowledge and appreciate.
Of course, both ways. No, it's great. So we're actually on
D. On our book.
Yep. And these are some proverbs here. I think these are on the NRSV. Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. This is an important. I memorized this when I was in college. Reckless words pierce like a sword, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. Proverbs 12:25. Anxiety weighs down the human heart, but a good word cheers it up. Proverbs 15:4. A gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit. Proverbs 16:24. Pleasant words are like a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul, and healing to the body. In Proverbs 25:11. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver. So the Bible makes it clear the tongue is a powerful tool. In fact, James talks about that in his epistle in the New Testament. So if this is one of your spouse's primary love languages, make some measurable goals in meeting this emotional need. So what we're going to have is our little breakout session here. All right? I'm going to give you 5 minutes. And the way we've done this, if this is your first day with us, you can stay where you are. You can move around the church, go to the sanctuary. This room over here is open. You got 5 minutes. And here are the questions you're going to ask. You're going to ask your spouse what kinds of compliments are meaningful to you. And then decide how often you want to give a compliment. Again, this is a measurable goal. If you want to be told I love you, make it a measurable goal. Do you want that said once a week, once a day, or whatever? And if you do that, you can literally take a little notebook or on your phone. This is a goal. And then at the end of the week, again, you can't measure, I'm going to be a better guy or better gal. What does that mean? How do you measure that? You can measure. Did I tell my wife that I love her every day this week? Or did I compliment her on how she looked or what she did? And vice versa. So go ahead, you got 5 minutes, break out, and we'll see you shortly. Okay, I guess it is. So, let me just go
No, no, first part of the second part.
Like, not
Okay, friends, we're gonna start wrapping up. I forgot to put this on our, we did it yesterday. I'm gonna give you 2 more minutes, pray for each other real quickly. Say a prayer for each other. Go ahead. Okay, kiddos. Okay, was that helpful? Any comments? Any more questions about that? Words of affirmation, communication, one of the biggies. And obviously, there's overlap. Because your words can also be words of affection, and also words that can involve quality time. You know, when you're spending some quality time with somebody, sometimes that gives an opportunity for things to be said that may not be said when you're among others and you're constantly passing and getting errands done for kids or other things. So, but now we're going to move on to quality time. Again, this is our 3rd love language. And quality time is giving your spouse your undivided attention, not multitasking. It is it's looking into the eyes of your spouse. Quality time is being a good listener. And the devices, those are the devices, the machines get in the way a lot of times.
What are your thoughts as well when it comes to the devices? Like, you see a lot of people not verbally communicating with one another. They use the device to communicate with one another. And then, like you were saying, when you practice speaking your sermons, you can't detect emotions necessarily through the text.
That's exactly right.
You can't detect how it's being conveyed to you. And then you can misread somebody's interpretation of how they're trying to speak to you and take it wrong and take it completely out of context.
Yeah. All right, here we go. All right, Jeff, I'm going to do it next time. Good morning, Jeff. How's it going, bro?
Great.
It's great to see you today. You look great. Fantastic.
You as well.
All right. All right. What are you doing today?
I'm going to go pick ice off the driveway.
Okay.
And I'm going to hospital afterwards.
You go to the hospital?
With my back.
Right now, though.
Not right now.
After that. That's right. All right. So we just communicated real quickly there for about 45 seconds. A lot of things happen. What did you see in communication? Eye contact. What else did you see?
Physical touch.
Handshake, physical touch, right? Smiles. So look at all the parts. That's what AI, I'm not worried about AI. Oh, I am worried about AI, but I'm not worried about AI. I'm worried about AI because we think that because we have a device or a machine. In fact, I was watching a thing on the news last night, and the big thing with AI is they were showing a real live picture and an AI picture, and you couldn't tell the difference. It's going to distort reality if we're not careful. I think there needs to be some kind of like, you know how milk has like a date when it's going to expire? I think you should put some kind of tag on, this is AI generated. So people don't get confused like, that really happened? You know, it showed this one cat going outside of a roof, and it was all AI generated, but I'm going, it looked real. So that's going to be the new challenge for the next generation. Our children are going to live in a different world. And it's going to be more difficult to differentiate truth from lie. Right? This is how it's going to be. Then think about Taylor Swift. There was some sexual post put on Twitter, and it was not her. It was not her. So you can see the dangers of AI. With all of this, you can't tell the difference between real and fake. Yes?
Did you see the what's going to make communication even more difficult is those Apple goggles now. Apple came out with these virtual goggles that you could sit down here talking, and screens actually pop up in front of your vision. So I could sit here Googling something while talking to you, and literally with my hands open up web browsers, open up a keyboard, and you'll look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm actually doing something. Yeah. And it says it can change your person's avatar. So I can make her look like something different just by looking at her. And it's insane.
What's an avatar? Why do we need avatars?
No, these are all great points. Those are all the challenges. You know, I mean, are some benefits, I'm sure, but we recognize there's some drawbacks, there's some dangers as well. And here's the thing I keep coming back to. If these are supposed to be so life-saving, why are there not enough counselors right now? Right now, if you want to go to counseling, you can't get into counseling, there's not enough counselors. We're supposed to be more advanced now than ever before, but there's not enough counselors. There are more people confused with their gender. There's more confusion now than ever before. We've advanced so much. We've advanced so much. You know what it comes down to? Well, I think we forgot about what it was to be human, to shake someone's hand, look them in the eye, and say, hey, my word's my bond. If you do something, I'll just do it. Right. We don't do that anymore. We gotta sign all these contracts. You might renege on me. I later can't trust you. Because half the time I'm communicating you through this. We're not even talking face to face anymore. You know? It's so funny, people who have big time, they make big time money, when they want to do a big time contract, they don't do it online, they fly out. It'd be so much cheaper not to fly out, just do it there. But man, if they're handing over their whole business to you, or putting themselves in a vulnerable position to you, they want to shake your hand.
But there is a time and a place for these.
I'm not saying there's not, I'm just saying.
How many people can you connect with on Facebook, if that's what you use? And sitting here in this room, you know, we got these people here now, and you can do 600 in a minute.
You can.
But that's not connection.
That's not connection. It's interpersonal connection.
But it's more than not having nothing.
Absolutely, but it's not a substitute for marriage.
Well, I didn't say it was a substitute.
Okay? If that's how for the next month, if my wife and I are all going to communicate through phones, what are some, you can only imagine after a month's up, some of the challenges we're going to have to work through. You know?
Yeah, but I can remember going to a hotel room when I was working out of
Sure.
town before we had bag phones. We had bag phones. And the only thing I could do is make a collect phone call or something like that. This makes it so much more easier now that I'm out of town.
I'm not saying that there's not a benefit.
So you can use it.
But I'm just saying this is not a person. That's all I'm saying. It can be a tool. It can be a tool for construction or a tool for destruction.
True.
You know?
Just like Jeff said too, a text, you have no idea if the person's ticked how they're saying, just like the I love you. And in the book he's reading says the inflection, is it a question mark at the end? Is it not a question mark at the end? Was the person upset when they wrote it? Were they really angry? So many times Rich has read me something he has written, I say, did you send that? Only because you have no idea how that person, you're not looking at them, like you said, eye to eye, you're not seeing their body language, and they could mean something totally innocent. But how it's said as you read it, not knowing any of those other 10 things.
Yes.
Absolutely. For the quality time section, so I think when we're specifically talking about this, it'd be good to send a word of affirmation. And I could send Teresa a quick text, I love you, or, I can send it. That's the words of affirmation that we just talked about. Now we're talking about quality time, and Jeff's comment about quality time with these cell phones is not quality time. There's time. I can sit and talk, take 5 minutes of my lunch break, talk to Teresa, it could be some quality time, and it's yes, I know, but we're not replacing that. And I could give words of affirmation through text, but when we're talking about quality time on this section, it's not replacing with cell phones. It's not quality. It's time. How much quality, how quality is it?
Sure.
You didn't check the box for the day, and when you
Yeah.
go home, now you can do something else.
Right.
It filled in an opportunity where you might not have had before, with a bag phone, but when you get home, you still have in a healthy marriage, there should be, there's still an empty box that needs checked of time that needs spent together without a destructive or deconstruction, of being distracted by this and not putting your attention where it is.
Let's talk about the love languages this can't speak. It can't speak physical touch. Right? But we also were sort of starting to sense too, it doesn't really, okay, it could be time, but it's gonna not be quality time as if I'm right next to you.
Quality is the key.
Sure.
Yeah. And I feel like the issue I always have with technology is it can connect you with people who are far away, but I think it disconnects you with people who are actually physically close to you. And that's where
Well,
I have that
I
issue.
think when you sit in a restaurant, like we all have, and you see couples both on their phones.
Yeah.
That's, to me, it's like, why are they do that? Why are they out together on a date or whatever it is, and you're both on a phone? You know what I mean? But I've connected so much with family members, because I have a big, wide family, that I never would know any part of their life if I didn't have a phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Back when I was a teenager, I didn't know half my stuff.
Yeah.
Now I know more because they're all on the phone.
And let's talk about Facebook. The problem with Facebook, excuse me, is so you load it up and they go, oh, he's got 900 friends. That's a lie. You do not have 900 friends.
I think some people that are most connected online are the most lonely people. I mean, they're the loneliest. They're trying to fulfill that need that they feel empty. I like what Alex said about it causes you to be disconnected from other people that are right in front of you, missing the opportunity to love people well right in front of you.
Also creates false.
Yes.
Well, it's like, the phones really were meant to be like for an emergency thing. Like, if something, you need to talk about something that's going on at home. This is, where's the catch-up hunt? Things like that. But like, I'm with the hostage negotiation team at work, and one of the biggest things we face is, as you guys know, when you see a movie with hostages, they have a throw phone, right? They have a phone they put in the room so they can talk to the hostage taker. That is actually a huge hurdle. We hate using that. We prefer to talk to person to person, because you can see their reaction to the things you say. You can see the things that you said that probably weren't right to say, and the things that you said that, okay, now we're going somewhere with this. On the phone, you can't see anything. So now you're guessing to how that person's feeling, you're guessing to how they're reacting, and it's the same thing in a relationship. I'm not saying we're all taking hostages, but if you are, then blink twice. But it's just on the phone, you can't talk about things. Sometimes I refuse to talk about important things on the phone.
There's a lot of people blinking right
It's just so different, Russ. How many people in this room actually remember that if somebody couldn't talk to you unless you got home, heard it on your answering machine, and you were home and could make a phone call?
This is why it's difficult for you as parents, because your fourth grader's gonna want a phone. It was real easy when I was growing up. Growing up in my house, we had one phone and hung on the wall. And there was 5 of us in our family. We couldn't all talk at the same time. We had to take turns. And at 9 o'clock, kids go to bed. I could sneak, the phone was attached to the wall. I could sneak the phone into my room and stay up till 4 in the morning talking to my friends. When there was a real cutoff time. And so what's happening now is there's no Sabbath from the phone. There's no respite from the phone. It's on 24/7. The lights are blinking on and off, and people are getting less sleep now than they've ever gotten, because this thing is just constantly going. And then all the other influences that are coming into your children 24/7.
And if you need resources on that, talk to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we as parents control this. We don't have to give it to them. We can turn it off, we can block our internet in our house.
Sure.
I mean, I remember people come to my house and I have your password for your internet. No, you know, really no. And so they say, why? Because we're not here to be on the internet. We're here to visit us. You know, I shouldn't take precedence of what you're there for.
Fair enough. No, good comment. So these are the struggles, and I just think they're not going away. They're going to be compounded. It's just a different world. Yeah.
One more quick thing to add. Actually, cell phones have become so addicting that the biggest reason why we can't hire prison guards anymore is because when they find out, they start their training, and when they find out they can't bring their phone into the prison, they quit.
Wow.
It's not even the prisoners anymore. It's actually the phones.
Right.
As soon as they know they can't have their phones for 8 hours, and they say, well, I can't do this, so they leave. That is the biggest reason.
Wow.
But is that like an insecurity? Because I know places still where I can go to do some service. So you know what I mean? So it's like.
Well, the thing is, though, you still have your phone with them. Like, even though he doesn't have service, you can still, like, you still have your phone in hand, so it's almost like a false sense of security. You have my phone with me or whatever, you know, but yeah, it's.
He's absolutely right, even on the county level. Because I work in the county jail, and it's the same way. Young folks come in and want a job, and they find out they can't with the device. Or even a smart watch, they're like, yeah, they're out.
Right, yeah.
What I can say about all of this is we had about a year of time where we had to be long distance while I was still in school, and he moved back to Pittsburgh and started working.
Sure.
So like our only way of communicating for months at a time was through the phone. So we called each other all the time, like
Sure.
10 times a day. But those visits that like he would take to come see me or I'd go with him were so much more meaningful.
Of course.
Like we didn't spend time on our phones or whatever. We wanted to see each other and be in person and enjoy that quality.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, that's what we're all saying. Yeah, you're right. These are a great tool, right? Use them. Don't let them use you. Don't let them use you.
Russ,
Yeah.
my dog, if Jim picks up that laptop, she gets upset. She gets up there and just when he picks up the laptop, or if I pick up my phone, she gets upset with us.
Okay.
And that's a dog.
Good for your dog. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, these are all great comments. No, we get it. You know who we have to teach is our children and our grandchildren.
They're all smarter.
They got it rough. They do.
Rough.
They do. Rough. They got it rough. Very good. A little slow this morning, I am. Okay, all good stuff. This is going to spill over to this next section. We're on quality time. So, quality time, communication. So, we're on B here, quality time. Number one, this is maintain eye contact. Tips for quality time, quality conversation. To be a good listener, maintain eye contact. 2, don't try to listen and do something else at the same time.
Wait, what was B1?
Maintain eye contact.
Then you have A1.
Dialogue. Quality conversation.
What is
conversation?
Quality conversation.
Sorry. Yeah.
He was hung up on the joke.
Yeah, yes. So, let me just read this, let me just catch this up, give me 20 seconds here. Quality time is A, right? Giving your spouse undivided attention. B is dialects of quality time. B1 is quality conversation, that's the first way to do it. And underneath that, are some tips for quality conversation. 1, maintain eye contact. 2, don't try to listen and do something else at the same time.
That's hard.
It is hard. And this is a problem of mine because I multitask. I need to multi things. And my wife will say, "What'd you say?" And I'll repeat it back word for word.
Yeah.
Number 3, listen for feelings. AI cannot distinguish feelings. Yeah. What emotion is my spouse experiencing? Number 4, observe body language. Sometimes body language speaks louder than words. This is a tough one. Refuse to interrupt. Your objective is not to defend yourself or set your spouse straight. It's to understand.
No woman.
All righty. Any questions? We're advancing. We're advancing. Okay, I'm on B. B. Quality conversation involves itself. Quality conversation involves self-revelation. Self-revelation. And that's just a fancy word. You're revealing something. You're exposing your feelings, your thoughts, your opinions. It is conversation where you and your partner can reveal yourselves to one another. Here are some examples. What was your most fearful event in your life? I'm sure that could be a special. I don't know if you're not sure that yet. You know, when you have dinner tonight, you can talk about that. What are you feeling right now? That's more immediate. What was your most disappointing event in your life? See, these are deeper than it's like, what do you think of this Sunday? You know, we're digging now. We're digging into your soul. What makes you operate?
We find that finding the questions becomes difficult as the years go by because you know that person.
Right.
And so now that you're trying to generate a conversation, maybe it seems vague and unmeaningful because, like, you know that person more.
Right, of course.
And so you might talk about the weather.
You might, and that's the cool thing about being simpatico with somebody is, yeah, you know all those things, but you never know. You might dig around and ask some of these questions, and something may come up that you know, I know that part of your life. Yeah.
There's some neat little resources out there. One we have, it's called Questions for Husbands and Wives. It's just a little box of random questions like that you can pull and talk about at the dinner table or whatever. I noticed in Alex and Rachel's car, they've done a lot of traveling last year being a travel PT, but what was it, 3,000 questions
about you.
About you. So while they were driving on these long trips, they would just pull out this book and start asking questions and discussing it between the two of them. So there's a lot of great resources out there when you kind of run out of things to say, well, what do I ask now? Kind of thing, that are great things to pull up, and it's all done for you. You just have to reach for it. Yeah.
Good stuff, good resources. 2 types of personalities. I'm on C. The one is the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea personality. So the Dead Sea looks like this. If we were in Israel, so we have, that's the broken one. We have the Sea of Galilee, which is north. We have the Jordan River, and then we have the Dead Sea. Dead Sea's full of salt. I was told there's so much salt. I was hoping to go there. And then, war broke out, and it's too dangerous to go right now. I was told there's so much salt there you can sit in the Dead Sea and float. So Galilee is where Jesus did most of his ministry. Capernaum was up here. That was his headquarters. And all of the fishing narratives and stuff about Jesus' life, that had been up here. The baptism of Jesus, all that would have been the Jordan River. But the Dead Sea is one of the personality types that Gary Chapman uses. He says that the Sea of Galilee flows south to the Jordan River into the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea goes nowhere. And some people are like that. Everything that happens in a day all flows to a part of their brain and it stops there. They're content with that. They do not need to talk about it. If you ask a Dead Sea what is wrong, he will say nothing is wrong. And they're honest. They're content with not talking. The other extreme to the Dead Sea is the babbling brook. That's what he knows. I like this. I'm just teaching this material. The babbling brook. The babbling brook. This is the personality type that whatever is seen by the eyes or heard by the ears ends up coming out of the mouth. Often a Dead Sea will marry a babbling brook. In dating, this works well because the Dead Sea does not have to worry about what to say. All you have to do is sit there and nod and say yes to everything that is said. just telling you what you learned. And the Babbling Brook kids talks about interruption. It can reach 5,000 RPMs and talk 10 minutes while taking a breath. You love it that he listens to you, but years into the marriage, the Babbling Brook might think, I don't know him. And he may think, I know her too well. A Dead Sea will never become a Babbling Brook or vice versa. So what needs to happen is a happy meeting of the middle with an appreciation of who our spouse is and his or her personality types. You guys anybody want to comment about that?
I'm the Babbling Brook.
I.
Okay.
What happens when you're both Babbling Brooks?
You have a hot tub. You have a
Medium.
All right.
The Dead Sea conversations must be intense.
Two Dead Seas. Two Dead
You know how, like, so I was telling him, his dad is very much so like a Dead Sea, and when we were dating, my worst fear was to get alone with him, because it's like, I know, my first interview in teaching, I literally gave myself a pep talk, and I'm like, don't randomly go off and talk about something weird during silent moments. But I remember I'd be like, I don't know, Cameron I was going home from somewhere, and he's like, ride with my dad. And, no, do not. I literally have inner dialogue when we're together, because I'm like, it's fine. He's just silent. He doesn't, and I feel like at that time I was like, he hates me. Like, anybody that doesn't talk just hates me. And I'm like, don't say anything. He likes the silence. Don't say anything. Like 6 years in, I'm still doing that. Like, I don't ask him about the weather because he doesn't like small talk. Anybody that knows Mike can appreciate it. It's so hard for somebody that's just like, don't let there be a silent moment, because then awkwardness could arise. Or comment, like, oh my goodness, I went to dinner with them and I wanted to let them talk about, but then all of a sudden I'm talking about like how, my socks didn't match, or like just random stuff. Like, don't talk when you don't need to.
You're not alone. I guarantee you there are other people in this room who have that story.
Notice I was going to went this way.
That's all good. Yes.
We're the same.
Laura, okay.
We're connected, we're the same.
Beautiful. Awesome. There are a lot of people in this room, I'm sure. No, I get it. And, it is, sometimes you have to retrain yourself, and sometimes silence is gold, isn't it? And so, in fact, I was reading this book. For women only. This is the one here. There's a section here. Look at this. And we talked about this last night. Again, these books I think are about $10 each. Fantastic.
How are you reading for women only?
Well, I'm reading both. This is one. So the stuff we talked about sex last night, a lot of it came from this book. And the whole about involuntary images that just pop up into a man's. It's like she crawled into a man's brain and stayed there for a week, and then somehow she was able to put it on paper. Sometimes we know what's going on, but we don't know how to describe it. And so for ladies, that's why this is a great book. But also, he talks about, there's a section here that talks about how men, and I'm this way, we've been talking about this just recently. We're talking about next year, what our plans are going to be. And I get real quiet. When I'm quiet, sometimes my mind is in 50 other places. That happens. You got too much going on in your life. But other times, you know what I need to do? I need to disengage. I don't process well with other people around me. I process best when I'm by myself for 20 minutes. I just kind of think about stuff. I'm not ready to give a comment yet, or an opinion yet, or an answer yet. I just need to put things together. I got in trouble here with one of my kids here. Not my son Alex, but one of the other kids was talking to me, and I was hesitant, and he said, "Oh, Dad, I get it. You don't feel good about this." No, I didn't say that. I just was thinking how we were planning to do some things together as a family. I'm just trying to process how this was all going to work. So sometimes, ladies, guys just need to disengage not that we're upset, not that we are not paying attention, but sometimes that's how we process things. That's how I process things. I just need to be by myself for about 20 minutes and let me put the pieces together, and then I can give you a cognitive, rational response. Does that make sense? So that's the difference between a babbling brook and a Dead Sea. So maybe I do babble some, but there are times I need to be a Dead Sea. I just need to go. I function, as I get older, I used to multitask really, really well. But now, as you get older, sometimes your mental acuity is not what it used to be. You just need to simplify things. A little bit of silence. And I like to talk to the Lord about even those kinds of things. Lord, what are your thoughts? What should I do? How can I respond? So, okay.
I think as you get older, Russ,
Yeah.
you realize that you really weren't multitasking. So you just need to be a little better at a couple of things.
Fair enough.
Because you were probably
There's-
not being
yeah.
good enough in so many directions
Yes,
too.
of course. And we yes, all those
Quality,
things.
not quantity.
Amen. Amen.
I think what he said that too, and like you said, as you get older, when someone says, hey, let's go do this, and the younger you would like, yeah, let's do it, spontaneous, everything. The older you is thinking, okay, now that means there will be 3 different dogs from 3 different families. That means there will be someone who's over here and someone who wants this and that and the other. And so now you're trying to, so you hesitate before you answer, but some people see that hesitation as a rejection. And so you have to, and that can be between spouses too, like, hey, do you want to go away this weekend? You don't want to, forget it. So we respond to that hesitation when he's just thinking things through, what do I have going on this weekend? I respond immediately with, he doesn't want to go. He didn't jump on that, so therefore he doesn't want to go. Forget it, kind of thing. And that silent pout thing.
I just don't want to be double booked. I don't have to go back and tell somebody, I said I'd do it, and I can't. Yeah, I have a wedding. I have a wedding that weekend.
Yeah.
On the 4th, right?
Yeah.
I have a wedding on the 4th. So don't ask me to do anything on the 4th. I'm hanging out with them on the 4th. But yeah. Any other comments? These are all good comments.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you have a lot of those books. Is the intention to put them in the library?
No, I just brought them out. These are counseling books that I share. You can get them on Amazon. I just thought if you guys were all going to come up here around the same time, you could all be looking through them.
I did see that there was, it's probably gonna be gone, but I did see in the
There are some-
library, there are some copies in the church library
Perfect.
for anybody that, can't buy it right now.
Right, no, this is free. All of you should have gotten one of these. These other ones here, these are all about $10 or less. But I just have them up here for you to look at. So when I do counseling, I sometimes hand them out as well.
I could just sign up for some counseling.
That's it. That's it. My counseling list. Here's my counseling list. 22 people on it. I will say this. So, I remember when I was in college, I read a book on how to read a book. Can you believe that? I read a book on how to read a book. You know how to read a book? So when you get a book, if you want to find it, you read, first of all, you read the front, you read the back. Teachers are going, let's say this. This is how you do it. You can do a book report this way. You read the front, read the back, read the first paragraph of each chapter. And that gives you the idea. Listen, a lot of books, they got a publisher, they go, oh, you can just get all in 30 pages, but you better write 300. And then we'll give you a contract. So, but a lot of times you can get the concepts. But what you can do if you do that, you can then go, oh, this is really interesting, and then you can read every page. But if you want to figure out in 10 minutes whether or not a book is worth your time, that's how you do it. Read the front, read the back, read the first paragraph of every chapter, and you'll know, is this worth my time or not? And then, so if you have some time, maybe you want to do that. The nice thing is these chapters, it's not a lot of psychological jargon, so the lay person can read it and understand what's going on. But it's great material, and each chapter takes maybe to read. I'm not a fast reader, really. 20 minutes or so per chapter. Okay. So let's talk about some quality activities together. Well, number 2. Quality activities together. Number 2 there on the middle of page 17.
Is this the one that can or cannot be the sex?
What?
You were saying that last night.
This could be, no, sex is quality, it can be quality activity, yes. It can be recreational time too, I suppose, yes. So the emphasis is not what we are doing, but being together. It can be doing a project, being entertained, but in every case, the point is you're doing it together. Quality time says, I want to be with you. It takes time, it takes energy. All, yes, and all that applies. So,
So the answer to doing it young?
yes, 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 yes. So I have down here, A, list 5 activities you would like to do with your spouse. Go ahead, I'm going to give you a moment to do that because you're going to have some breakout time here soon. So I'm going to give you no pressure on your own time. Go ahead, just list some things that you would like to do together. So you're listing 5 activities. Now, you're going to have some breakout time to compare, so don't do that quite yet. Don't do that quite yet. We're going to get through our list, and then as we wrap up this little section here, you're going to have a breakout session where you're going to compare. So you've got 5 activities you want to do with your spouse. Now, in a few minutes, you're going to meet with your spouse, you're going to compare your list, and you're going to have to choose each. You're going to have to choose 3 activities from each list. 3 activities. What am I doing? Remember I said measurable goals. You're going to know by the end of the year, and maybe they're not the kind, it's not, I'm saying end of the year, those are like vacation kinds of things, but it could be very simple things that can be done within the next week. But you can put a time component like, we're going to do 3 of these within the next 7 days, or whatever, and then that's measurable. At the end of 7 days, you're going to get together and look, did we not accomplish, did we not do some of the activities that we said we wanted to do with each other? Let me ask you this. So maybe you're sitting there too, and you know you want to spend time with this person you love so much, but you're looking for some creativity. Do you want to mention some activities that others might be able to glean and go, ooh, that'd be fun for us too?
Morning devotions.
Morning devotions together. Great activity. Absolutely.
Exercise together.
We exercise together. So Randy and I, we Simone, what's her name?
I don't remember.
Leslie
Sampson.
Leslie
Yeah.
Sampson. I always call her
That's what threw me. I thought Simone.
Leslie Sampson. So if you go on YouTube, she's got these exercise videos, and they're from 15 minutes to 30 minutes. I grab a couple of weights Randy does. We turn the TV on in the basement. 15 minutes, and boom, got a little exercise, a little bit of activity, got our heart rate up. So yeah, devotions, exercise, anything else you guys want to throw out there? Some activities that'd be good. Relationship kind of building activities. Range time. Awesome. He's got a new gun. He's gonna go shoot. He needs somebody to bring the ammo. All right, range time. Yes. Home renovations. Okay, some people, that's their thing.
Cooking together.
Cooking together. What was that?
That always makes us fight over renovation. It's totally different than this.
We gotta work that out. I know work that out. So I was wrong. I said Alex and Rachel did puzzles together. They actually paint by numbers. Right? Is that what it is? Paint by numbers? So all I know is they were at the table and it looked like, anyway, paint by numbers, puzzles. Absolutely. All right. Anybody, anything else? Any other ideas?
I say just take a walk together.
Taking a walk together. We go to the dam several times a week. And we'll bring an audible book. We'll listen to a book and we'll go for a walk for about 50 minutes is about what it takes us. Anything else? Okay. So here's the next thing. It's another measurable goal. And you can do it on your phone because a lot of us have calendars on the phone. So if you've made your list and you've compared the 3, chosen 3 from each list, put it on the calendar. If you don't schedule it, it won't happen.
What did you do before you had that?
Before what?
What did you do before you had that?
I still use paper. I still use paper calendar. I'm old school. Now I'm starting to do both. If it's really important, I'll say Siri, although I was supposed to get the baptistry on last night, the heater. I told Siri, and I didn't look, so I didn't get it done. So look what we're doing. Measurable goals. Measurable goals. Let's talk about a date night. It's interesting. So here's what happens a lot of times. You say, so when are you going to start your family? When you hear that, what do you often, what's the sidebar? What's being asked?
When do I get the grandchild to play?
When I get the grandchild. So a lot of times, here's what happens when you say a young couple, we're going to start a family. You're thinking children. Time out. No, that's not when the family started. Time when the family started, not biblically. The Bible says when a man leaves his father and mother, clings to the wife, the two become one flesh. That's when the family starts. The family starts with a husband and wife. Children are the sidebar. Children do not make the family. If they do make the family, you're in trouble. Because you know what the goal of the child is? To grow up and leave you. So the Bible says, a man will leave his mother and child. The goal of the child is to leave you. Understand that. I'll never. Yep, they're going to find somebody else they love more than you. It's supposed to be that way. And that's become the new unit. The husband and the wife. So when the child grows up and leaves you, you don't want to wake up and go, man, I shared a house with you and a bed with you for 25 years. What's your name again? What's been going on? We've been dating. You got to date your spouse now. Get a sitter. Find someone. We got a big youth group. They're always looking for a little extra change. You know, it doesn't be long, but find an hour and a half, a couple times a month, maybe once a week, and go on a date with your spouse. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. I get it. Men in the economy's been really funky and kind of expensive, but you can go for a walk at the dike, you can go to the dam, go to McDonald's, get a milkshake, library. I mean, years ago, long time ago, we used to go to the library once in a while and just look. Before we got Audible, they used to, they used to get the tapes, the books on the cassette tapes. Remember that? And we stick it in there, So we used to go and look because we were planning a trip and go, oh, this is a John Grisham book. We want to. Do you see what I'm saying? Date night. You gotta date your spouse. Gotta date. Put it on the calendar. It won't happen if you don't go on the calendar. I've asked people, so when's the last time you took your wife on a date? You shouldn't have to think about it. If you're thinking about it, you're not going on a date enough. Not going on a date enough. Love your kids, but guess what? Them kids are leaving. They're leaving. This is going to be you and your spouse. So invest now.
Sometimes they come back.
Alex? Love you guys. I got you guys away. I'm just having fun. He said it. I didn't tell him to say it.
You can change the door locks.
You can change the door locks. He's already at the plan. Oh my goodness. No, we're having fun. We're having a good time. So, all right here. All right. So, okay, I'm going to walk you through the process. You're going to make your list of 5 things. You're going to compare with your spouse. You're going to put it on the calendar. And now you got to get a biggie together. And what you're going to do on C. Next page. I'm on page 18. Remember I talked about scheduling a date? Big C. You're going to write an invitation. Let's write them an invitation. Hey, you're going to get a nice date with a really fine human being on this particular date. Come dressed up or wear your work boots or go and wear your hiking shoes. I know where you're going. It could be where you might go to a fancy place. You might be going for a hike. Who knows where you're going? All right? Write them an invitation to spend time, quality time together. Basing your invitation on the groom summoning to his bride a song of songs. Look at this. Here we go. Let's read this. Song of Solomon. Psalms chapter 2. My beloved speak and says to me, arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. For now the winter is past, and the rain is over and gone. The flowers appear on the earth. The time of singing has come, and the voice of the turtle dove is heard in our land. The fig tree puts forth its figs, and the vines are in blossom. They Give forth fragrance, arise, my love, my fair one, and come away.
Said no real man ever.
Solomon did. Oh, there you go. There you go. Do you guys want some time to write that note? Or let's break out? All right, let me just do this. I'm going to let you, this note might take a little longer than 5 minutes. So what we're going to do is you're going to break off from your session here. You're going to do those two things under B2. I'm going to give you 10 minutes. This might take you a moment. B2, all right? And so B2 in your book starts on page 17, right? 5 activities. You and your spouse agree to 3 on each list. Get that calendar out, write some things down, all right? And then later, maybe this weekend, you have some time, you can write a nice invitation to your spouse.
So when you say 3, should you have
3 of each.
Should she pick 3 of mine and I pick 3 of hers, or should I pick the 3 that we should do and she should pick the 3 that we should do, like from her list?
Yes.
Like, do you have a preference?
Yes.
I mean, it's different. If I tell you what we're doing off of my list, it's different than if you pick it off my list. That's my.
Do the 3 things she tells you.
We talked about this last night. I'm not a great hunter. I like going places with her, but I'm terrible at planning, so I'm leaning on her for some of the stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
Yes. All right, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. All right.
I gotta grab
Me too. I gotta grab something to drink. There's more refreshment out here. All right. So there's still food out there. There's coffee. You thank Susan. She brought Nan's donuts. They're out there too. Yeah. All right. Let's.
I wanted to make that. Well, that is.
So I sat
There is. You have one more thing. It depends on time. So we have to reach out over there, so. Let's go push it.
I got coconut on top of that one. But it looks I'm not playing.
Do you have anything scheduled?
We'll do it all tomorrow.
Right. Okay.
Can't wait.
I'm like, Ross, same thing. Let's see, June
All right, I'm gonna give you about 30 seconds to a minute. We gotta keep going. I'm looking, holy smokes, it's already 10:30. Man, we're having so much fun, the time is just escaping us. That's what happens. Okay. We got 2 more love languages yet. All right, hit on. I wanna. Okay. Alrighty, so we are going to start talking about our 4th love language.
Russ, if we have time at the end, can we do more of that brainstorming? Even though we've been married 34 years, sometimes you run out if we did that. But doing it again is okay. Like, we're not big wine drinkers, but we love doing these little winery things, just talking together. And I didn't even realize that there was one right out there by Mapplehatta.
Yeah.
You know, and there's ones up by, just little things like that. When we go to your St. Mary's for doctor's appointments, there's a wine trail out there, up here in Pennsylvania, that right is the ones that we live in, and they don't change much for their wine. You know, stuff like that, throw it out there because I love drives.
All right, I'm gonna give you 2 or 3 minutes here, guys. I'm gonna pick up. If you're wrapping things up with your spouse, that's great. But let's do that real quickly. Any great ideas? So Joyce, you know, there's some great little wine trails. They don't cost money. You can hang out together. Do you guys want to throw out some places that are, within an earshot, within an hour? Might be very expensive, easy to get to. Any ideas right here in our area? You want to throw some ideas out there?
How about all the waterfalls?
Waterfalls.
I see that because I'm on Facebook and I see your pictures.
The one I really love is over in Loganton. What's the one there? Rosecrans Falls? Rosecrans Falls. Write that down. You can Google that. You can Google that. It'll show up right on your Facebook or your Google Maps, and it'll take you right there. That's free. That's
And
lovely.
that conservatory we just took Grace to, but it's for adults too, over at State College. What's that called?
The Arboretum.
Oh, the Arboretum.
Yes, the Arboretum's great.
Oh, my Lord.
She takes preschoolers there.
Oh, my.
The Arboretum is free.
I love the Catholic. I love that.
Yes.
But stuff like that, I love it.
So there's the trail over to Manhattan. There's that what's that trail called? The Magic.
Oh, that goes back in
The
there.
Magic Trail, and it's decorated. So what the little kids do is they leave little trinkets and toys, and so it's seasonal. Like at Christmas,
That's that nature park.
the nature park, yes. And you take your kid on it, your grandson on it, granddaughter on it. They can play with the little toys. And if you want to bring some, what you can do is you can exchange. You can pick one up if you leave one. And Roman loves it. It's a cool trail, it's free.
Russ, if you actually go back off the trail, take the road back out, you can go to the reservoir and walk that too. There's paths all through the reservoir.
Yes.
All
Yes,
through there.
that's right. And there's an old building. All the stones were imported from Europe over there, and that's all free. That's right. The goat trail and all that's up in there. Yes.
This would be more of a day trip, but, up in, what is it,
Riggins Glen.
There's like 11 waterfalls. It's
Yes.
really beautiful. And we didn't know this would be like the golf. There's a little indoor golfing place right there on Main Street in Lock Haven.
Oh.
And like, it's not our golfing season, so we can't golf together, something we always did.
In Lock
But
Haven.
we wrote that down, yep. It's
Golf,
in-
cool.
It's in the same store as that vape store right there.
Okay.
So I don't think they actually vape in the store
Right.
though, but, it is like an
Okay.
indoor golf.
Indoor
We just saw
golfing.
it the other night.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's on the other side, that's
Okay,
next
so
door.
that's going to,
There's a nice one in Williamsport.
there is, but we've been to that one.
On Roy Avenue, behind the,
Okay.
Axon, Unimart, whatever.
So this costs a little bit of money. Right by the Axe Store, one in Williamsport. What's the place you gotta knock on the door, it's locked. You have to knock on the door, make a reservation, and then they unlock it to let you in. The food's fantastic. What was that called? With the paralysis. And they had that chocolate soup or whatever it was. Remember we went there?
Yeah.
It was in Williamsport. But you go, it's on the
What's the
main.
guy's name? Fredericks or
Yeah,
Henry's?
it's Italian, you go, it's locked.
Franco.
Franco. Oh my man, Franco. Go to Franco. It's like you're going back in the 30s and 40s, like this, some kind of hidden restaurant. And it's locked. You can't go inside. You gotta knock on the door, make reservation, let you inside, and they feed you. That's a
You
good
make the
place.
reservations ahead of time.
Make them ahead of time. Make them ahead of time.
What's
Yeah,
it called?
Franco's. Frankos. World's in, not too far, World's End State Park. That's a really nice place there, waterfall, and it's not a challenging waterfall. You know, if you go down, I'm just not the most athletically fit, you don't need to be. Waterfall, it's gradual.
You shouldn't be in the waterfall.
Huh?
You shouldn't be in the waterfall.
No, but I'm in the trail, that goes on. So, World's End State Park. All right, so those are some more, and maybe if we have some time at the end, we can give more out. I do want to get through the last two love languages. We're on receiving gifts. On receiving gifts, a gift is a visible sign of love. We talked about this last night. You go in our sanctuary and there are symbols. You see the big cross. You see the Lord's table. You see the big Bible. All those things they convey things that are important to us. The cross, that's where Jesus died. God's word, that's where He speaks to us. Right? The Lord's table. Jesus said, do this in remembrance of me. His sacrifice for us. So the symbols mean something to us. A wedding band. A wedding band is a symbol. It means something. And so we discovered that it's not always what the gift costs. It could be the smallest. And it could say something simple like, oh, you thought of me. And maybe it goes on the refrigerator. That's that kind of, it's got a magnet or whatever. That's why kids, when you go on vacation, you come back, you bring them with you give them a small gift. They go, oh my goodness. He thought of me. So, some people respond better to gifts than others. And we just how we're hardwired. So, let's look under B. To the individual whose primary love language is gifts, it doesn't matter how much the gift costs. It does not matter how much it costs. See, what if the gift giving doesn't come naturally? Smollett offers this advice. He says, number one, make a list of the gifts you have heard your spouse comment on through the years. This will tell you what kinds of gifts have left a lasting memory in him or her. That's number one. Number two, I'm on the next page. This is a cool one. Recruit your spouse's sister or brother or parents. They know your spouse. They will help you with some ideas. Three, give whatever is comfortable for you to give. If this is a primary love language for your spouse, whatever gift you give will convey love to them. Now, I wrote this down. If they complain about the gifts you're giving, receiving gifts might not be their primary love language. Number four, make a list of comments your spouse makes about the things he or she would like to have. Keep a notebook of these things. You might find her say something like, one day I'm going to have one of those. Or I wish that I owned that. Log those down. You might get clues on the kinds of gifts he or she likes to receive.
Russ, I just want to comment on this. 2 things to consider when you're buying gifts. Don't give something that you want, like type thing. If if Manny buys his wife a gun, no.
It's not loaded.
Yeah. But no, this was a funny thing. Our first Christmas together, Russ bought me an iron. I like to iron his clothes. I'd never iron his clothes. So. Then he bought me some exercise equipment, and that made me ask, what are you saying here? Kind of thing. But the other thing that he's come to realize is that I'm not necessarily a flowers and jewelry kind of person, but I'm a practical kind of person. So the gifts he gives me, he's learned, like 1 year he gave me this ruby ring because that was my birthstone. And I'm like, I had just had a baby and we didn't have a rocker. And I'm like, can we take this back and I buy a rocker instead? And he was like, you don't want the ring I gave you? It's like, no, I need a rocker, because I'm a practical kind of person. I need a practical gift. So the kind of gifts that you give your spouse is also important to talk about. What kind of gifts, if you are a giver. And neither of us scored high at all on gifts. We're neither one real gift givers at all. But when you do give a gift, make sure it's the kind of gift, practical versus some people just love roses randomly, then that's, and if you gave them a practical gift, they're like, why would you give me this? This is something I needed anyway. We would have bought anyway. So some people can have completely different gift languages as well.
So when we were first married, we grew up in Kansas. We moved to Morton, Illinois. We were going to school. And our first Christmas, I got her a brick. And what I did is I put it in a box. And I put that into a bigger box. And I put that into a bigger. I had this huge box sitting under her tree. She thought, oh man, what'd you give me?
And he thought the fun of it would be me wondering all season long what was in this huge gift. Needless to say, when I got down and opened it up and it was a brick,
I would have loved
not a good first Christmas gift. He was so excited to watch me open it, He couldn't understand my response at the end,
So I had those stitches.
With that brick. I found it useful.
Remember anything before that? She still had a brick.
All right, Dean, remember, not all gifts cost money. You can make stuff, right? Gifts are valued because of meaning we attach to them. E, the gift of presence means being with your spouse in times of celebration and crisis. E, the gift of presence.
PRESENC.
Correct.
Not TS.
Did I print that? Oh, ooh, little play on words there. Okay. If possible, sometimes you may have to cancel other things to be with your spouse in a time of crisis or a time of celebration. It shows him or her. Smalley tells a story where a wife told him that after her baby was born, her husband was quick to leave to play football with his friends. His attitude was, babies are born every day. All right, I know, yeah, oops. D, if having your spouse with you is important to you, tell him, tell her. That's D. Actually, it's E.
You got two D's there. You got two D's. Two
If receiving gifts is important, what's that?
I said the guy was getting my brick.
If receiving gifts is important love language to you, provide write some ideas on how the rest of us might give gifts to someone who is fluent in this love language. You guys want to throw some ideas out there?
Flowers.
Flowers?
Oh, no, listen.
Yes or
Water
no?
flowers once. And she said all they would do is die. And that's fact, right? So then I bought her dry flowers, and that was a mistake too. So sometimes you can't win.
No, I
But
like
keep
flowers.
trying.
Because they're alive and bloom and
Yes, you did.
All right. Anybody else want to add some here?
Well, about the flowers, on my way home from work, I used to stop at a field and pick wildflowers.
That's so sweet.
See, that's the kind of thing about having you all the time, because my primary is, service, and then his. And she's like, we don't have a lot of money, and I'm like, when have I demonstrated to you that it has to cost a lot? Flowers from a field will be more special to me than Walmart flowers, like.
Then I'm gonna call her after some bail money.
No, I think our kids one time, I think maybe we lived over the parsonage, it has happened. One of the kids brought Rennie flowers, they just picked them from her garden.
Yeah, they snapped them all off. They just bloomed right outside my door, and they walked and picked them all to give to me. It's like, oh, one time bloom. Yeah. That's right, it was. It was kind of funny.
To go on a weekend trip, it's like, it's a paper gift per se, but like there's like an undefined attached piece of it.
And you know, it was
I do with the kids sometimes, like this voucher entitles you to 1 weekend away with whomever or something like that.
Yeah, the coupon books are.
We just hope they lose this thing.
I felt like 2 years ago at Christmas time, I'm still waiting for my card.
You're still waiting for it.
No one gave it to her.
Oh, I did turn it in.
So you- so-
It's hanging on his door.
So you can kind of see this overlap here on this receiving gifts. You can give your time, right? You can give a service, wash my car, or, yeah, so, yeah, there's all kinds of ways to give. And again, you're right, that doesn't necessarily cost money. I'm gonna take the kids, you got the afternoon, go do what you wanna do. And I got the house.
I like, knowing my car is full of gas.
Okay.
Oh my gas.
So that's kind of bold. I think you're saying, so that's an act of service and a gift. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
On the subject of flowers, you can always get like a tree or a sapling, and that way it grows as you guys grow together.
Oh, yeah, you could. Except if you give it to us, we kill it. We do. So, thank you all you preschool parents who gave us all those little plants. We tried. No, but I like the idea, seriously. I like the idea, it's a great idea. We still have a green thumb. So, no, it's all good, you're right, I like that idea. Living flower, living plants. Let's look at these proverbs. Can I say something? The women were the ones who talked most. Guys, do you have any ways that any kind of gifts that you'd like to have given to you?
Manny, we don't need yours. No, just kidding.
Yeah, that's right. I was just gonna say precious metals. We love precious metals. Precious metals.
You know what AR means?
AR. Alienation. All right. We have some good enthusiasts. All right, let's look at some scriptures. From Proverbs, some give freely yet grow all the richer. Others withhold what is due and they only suffer want. A generous person will be enriched, and one who gives water will get water. Like clouds and wind without rain is one who boasts of a gift never given. The Apostle Paul wrote, "For if the willingness is there, the gift is acceptable according to what one has, not according to what one does not have." But, he writes, "just as you excel in everything, in faith, in speech, in knowledge, in complete earnestness, and in your love for us, see that you also excel in the grace of giving." Jesus said, "Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For the measure you give will be the measure you get back." All right, so this is one of your spouse's primary love languages. List some goals, measurable goals, in how you can meet this emotional need of your spouse. All right, another little breakout session here for you. I'm going to give you 5 minutes here. And I don't know, I sort of sense that this isn't a primary for a lot of people. I'm just listening to the lack of input here. So, but if you want to, you guys want to talk about that, I'm going to give you a couple minutes. Go ahead and talk about maybe why, if it's not that important, maybe you can just discuss why it's not important. But if it is, you can make some goals, you know? Maybe there could be a lot of wildflowers in the rain. I don't think you're going to go to jail and pick our flowers, so.
If there's something that's low on your score, per se, it doesn't mean that there's.
That's a great point.
Like, it just might not be as straightforward. It just could be something less current. Not that he's real big, he's just
Beautiful. Remind me when we come back to get it, I want to say it's a great point. I got it. It's a great point. Okay.
One thing that I did go along with what you're talking about is if it was something I liked both, I circled to bring account to So, you could say, yeah, well, maybe there might be times where
You can do that, but you can't do that on both. Yeah.
You know, it's nice to get stuff sometimes, you know, randomly sometimes.
Well, and that's what Jeff's comment was too, and I'll make that comment. Just because you scored low on it, doesn't mean you do away from completely.
And, you know, kind of I don't have any of the others.
Yeah.
But if you have to choose one or the other,
Right.
it doesn't mean that you don't like the other. It just means that you don't like one. So you still like the other.
Right.
You just, in this kind of test, it's forcing you to choose one or the other. It doesn't mean that you don't.
So, can I ask a favor? I need to go to the section go and check the security. Because we're getting close.
It ripped off. I only took it off.
So, right, so one of those things.
Yeah. But I think
All right, ladies and gents, I'll give you another 30 seconds or so. I can't believe how quick this time is moving. So, many moons ago, when we used to do this, it cost a heavy nickel, at least a heavier nickel, in the sense that we would go someplace. We'd go to State College, we'd go to Williamsport, and we'd rent rooms. We'd have rooms, and we'd stay the night, and we'd have most the next day together and so forth. But we tried to make this cost efficient. We just understand that, for a lot of folks right now, money is tight. So we made this very as inexpensive as we could, and we're glad that you're here. But I don't know, maybe down the road, we can look at doing that again when you actually go off-site. There's something about being off-site. You're just more disengaged from your natural routine, and it's fun. It's fun to go be someplace with a group of people, someplace different. And you get a room with your spouse, and you don't have to worry about kids. Knock on the door and get some privacy. So I don't know. We'll look at that. Maybe next year we can look at that. But I hope you've enjoyed this. And we're moving into the last love language. This is acts of service. I do want to just pause for 30 seconds because Jeff made a great point. Lily also touched on a little bit. Jeff pointed out that for a lot of us, this was probably pretty low. I just sensed that from our group. This is probably one of the lower ranked gifts on our scale of the 5. And just because it's a lower rank, though, it doesn't mean you just want to throw the whole thing away. I mean, so really, she at least scored 2. You know what that means? At least she recognizes, and there are times that it's cool to get a gift. Okay, maybe it's not up there with acts of service, or quality time. But just because it scored a 2 rather than a 12 doesn't mean that you want to neglect it completely. So, just some perspectives, some things to think about, and I appreciate Jeff's comment. Acts of service. For those who feel love with this language, actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words. Keeping in mind that words speak louder than actions for some people. Often stereotypes get in the way of acts of service. Often stereotypes, that's the blank there, get in the way of acts of service. Often there is an expectation that wives do this, and this, and this, and husbands do that, and that, and that. Do you want to talk about stereotypes? Are there any stereotypes today where, I think we've become more, we've debunked a lot of that today, but I know growing up especially, the generation before us. I think there were some expectations that were gender specific to men or women, and not as much today.
I feel like cooking is one. It's like I always get home later, Robbie always cooks. And I remember my aunt and Uncle Keith. My Uncle Keith cooked every night because my aunt got home later. Like, and that was just always my dad cooks because my mom gets home later. I feel like that's like, could be a stereotype thing.
Yep.
I know with my grandparents, that was a big thing. You know, back in the 40s and the 50s, the wife stayed at home, cooked, cleaned, raised the kids. The husband went to work, he earned a living, he paid the bills, and pretty much what he said in that household went. You know, there was no discussing about things about. So I mean, since then times have changed a whole lot. As a matter of fact, I do what she tells me to all the time.
And we don't lie at all.
So, one other thing, I can't remember which book it was in, but I read it this week. I took some time reading all these, including this one. But it talked about how the husband was struggling. I don't remember if he got behind on his job or whatever, and the wife's going, listen, I have a great job, why are you worried? And he said, you don't get the point. Financially will be fine, but there's something within most men. We want to feel like the family can lean on us and know, we got this. There's just something in there. Remember, so a couple years ago, Will Smith got up on the stage and slapped Chris Rock. Remember that?
Yeah.
Wasn't right. He should have done it. But I get it. I get it. There's an impulse in men. Men and women are not the same. And that's where the culture is really going out of the way. You know, really gone sideways where, you know, the culture's told men for a long time, masculinity is evil. And the best way you can be a man is act more like a woman. Huh? And vice versa. Well, you know, you should act more like a man. And unfortunately, in sexual context, it was about conquest and so forth. And why would you want that either? We don't want men to behave that way either. But men and women are not the same. They're not the same. Not being in our culture. We're different. Men can't have babies. We're not the same. Right? And women tend to be more nurturing than men. Men tend to be protective. It's okay for a man, when he feels that his family's threatened, to rise up and go, I'm going to protect my family. That's just part of who we are. That's part of, you know, even if the bills are all paid, if a man's out of work for a while, it can get to him. They talk about that in one of those books, that there's something within us. We want to be able to say, hey, you know, we're like a covering. We're shepherding our family. And that's not sexist. Men are not better than women. Women are not better than men. Different is okay. That's what the culture, we want everybody to be the same. We're not the same. This is my sermon tomorrow, by the way. Fingerprints. There are 7 billion people on our planet. You don't share the same fingerprints with any other person in this world. Your DNA, basic building block of who you are. 7 billion people on our planet. Nobody else shares your DNA. That's unique to you. We are not the same. People are not the same. Men and women are not the same. We're different. And it's good. It's all good. We don't have to beat up one side to make the other side feel affirmed. That's not helpful. We'll tear one side down so the other side feels built up. That's not biblical. The thing is, we're to appreciate what God has created in each of us. Both are needed. Both are needed. Listen, my parents, they were divorced multiple times. My mother was married twice. She was divorced twice. My dad was divorced 3 times. And, you know, I get it. Life's not perfect, but I want to say this too. And I got a son who is raising his own son as a single dad. Ideally, God made mothers and fathers to both have an influence on children. We live in a world, I'm just going to be straight up. Right now, it just poo-poos men. You know, that, you know, you watch The Simpsons and everything else, that's a little dated, but, you know, men are seen as stupid and they're clumsy and, you know, they're kind of getting in the way. Dad, just get out of the way so that life can happen. And that's not what we find in the Bible. It's not what we find in the Bible. Fathers would be esteemed. Mothers would be esteemed. Together, they both provide emotional, mental, spiritual support to their children. Ideally, that is what God wants for families. And by saying that, I don't think we're being chauvinistic in any way or sexist in any way. We're affirming both. Both are good. Both are good.
To be able to stay like that though, your spouse has to have your back. And you have to have their back.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. What did Jesus say? A house divided against itself won't stand. Right? And so we live in a culture right now moving into a political season too, and we get divided up into race, we get divided up into gender and economics. How does that help our country? How does that help our country? You know, listen to how they talk about vote. Well, we got to make sure that so-and-so gets the black vote, or so-and-so gets the woman's vote, or so-and-so gets the middle class vote. That's segregation. That's not biblical. Jesus doesn't want us all divided out fighting against each other. He wants us working together, affirming, loving, valuing. Every soul has infinite value to God. Every soul. Man, woman, young, old. That's why I'm against abortion. That's why I'm against euthanasia. Every soul is sacred in God's eyes. I believe that. We go right to the Bible and start looking at some scriptures. Men, women, young, old, doesn't matter what your salary is. Every soul has infinite value. And if you were the only one on this planet, Jesus would have come and died just for you. Okay. We need a hymn now. We'll sing an invitation hymn. All right. So we are on to, number one was service. We're under D, right?
B. Often stereotypes. B3.
Yes, B3.
Bingo.
All right. Often we are taught by our parents and our culture. We kind of talked about stereotypes. And we're going to keep moving forward. We're going to go to number 3. We're all taught by our parents and our culture. We are not necessarily trying to change stereotypes unless they are unbiblical. What we're trying to do is love each other. In my house growing up, my mother admits this. My father was the better cook in our house. My father was the better cook. Giving your spouse information about what would be meaningful, a meaningful act of service to you is important. Hey, in our house, I push the vacuum. I clean the cars. It's therapy. It's therapy for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know. My life's chaotic. I go home and I like things organized and neat. So I vacuum and I clean the cars. Periodically make a list for your spouse of the things you'd like done for you.
Periodic.
It's going to be on that refrigerator every time you go and get a glass of milk. So if you clean the kitchen and your wife wants you to plant flowers while you were thinking, I'm doing something wonderful for her, she's thinking, I wish she would plant the flowers. Then you clean the kitchen. Remember, the list goes both ways. I'm on 1 here under D. The list goes both ways. He or she may have a list for you. Number 2, number the items in order of importance to you. 3, this is a real honey-do list. 4, keep the list to 3 or 4 things. When it's done, you make another. Do not overwhelm your spouse with 20 things on the list. Keep it simple. If someone does not give you a list, if you listen to your spouse's complaints, you will know how to express love to him or her in this language. Sometimes, we can call it nagging or complaining. Sometimes that's valuable, because you can realize, oh, this is not getting done, but I can see this is really important to him, really important to her. A good example of this is Jesus' language. He demonstrated by Jesus in his teachings. He said this. He said, and we quoted this earlier, whoever wishes to be great among you must be your servant. Whoever wishes to be first among you must be slave of all. For the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and give his life as a ransom for many. That was an act of service for us, for our benefit, the cross. H. At the very heart of love is an attitude of serving the other person. Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. Who's your first neighbor? Your spouse. Your spouse. We can't go around being nice to all the neighbors in our community, in a church, and go home and just be a bear living with our spouse. So if this is your primary love language, make some measurable goals in how you might meet this deep emotional need. All right, we're going to break out here. I didn't leave you questions here, but on this in your breakout, go ahead and make a little list. And first of all, let the other one know if this or is not really important to you. If it is, what are some things that the other person can do that will really speak love to you in this way? 5 minutes. All right? 5 minutes. And then say a little prayer over each other. Okay. Ready? We're looking good on time.
Well, longer, you know, when I think of this, the stereotypes, yeah, I think of,
No, I do. I just need to know.
It's not worth
it was also $50
all of them. Oh, after
Is there anything I can be doing? You have anything on your list that doesn't get done? I should be aware of No. Do we want to break out, do you want to try to do one more little breakout session as a group? Quarter after, by 11:30, we need to be in that sanctuary. Alrighty. Alright, I'm gonna give you 30 more seconds, guys. Okay, everybody. So a couple things I want to do. We're going to try to do one more breakout session for the guys and girls for about 10 to 15 more minutes. Ladies will be in the sanctuary. And then guys, we're going to go join them. We have one more exercise. Basically, if you want to be part of it, we're going to renew our vows. The section, yours says, I take you, be my wedded wife. And that section, and while you do it, if you want to, you have an opportunity to wash your spouse's feet. Okay? Right, so maybe I didn't need to come prepared for that. If you're not comfortable with that, no problem here. You don't feel obligated. But we have tubs for everybody. We have towels for everybody. I should have started heating the water last time at the baptistry, but I did kick it on this morning. I think it's okay. I don't think, yeah. So, and where do you find it in the Bible? So in John, the Gospel of John, now we're in Holy Week, they're in the upper room, and Jesus, he basically takes off his garment, out of the garment. That's what slaves did in Jesus' day, And there were different kinds of slaves. And Jesus took the position of the lowest of the low. The lowest washed feet. And Jesus went around and he washed his disciples' feet. It was an act of service, an act of love, an act of humility, And Jesus was saying, by doing that, I care for you, I love you, I want to serve you. And then, of course, this preparation for his final act of service to the cross for our sin, died for our sin. So he washed his disciples' feet. And when he was done, he said this. He said, you call me Master and Lord. I wash your feet. You need to wash one another's feet. If I'm the master and I wash feet, you, who are my servants, I will wash one another's feet. And so it's an opportunity it's an expression. And so while you're washing feet, you will repeat your vows along with me. And then basically what we're saying to our spouse is, I'm here to serve you. I'm here to be your helpmate. I am here to point you to Christ. I am here not just on the fun days, but the tough days. I'm here to prop you up and to be here and to be a witness to you for Jesus. We always talk about being a witness for other people, but how about in our own household? Sometimes our spouse needs us to be a witness for Jesus because we all have really crummy days, and we just need somebody to love us and to call us to. I mean, we can have a bad day, but as you like to say, Beckham, we don't want to stay there. And give us the right to stay there, okay? And our spouse needs to call us out in a loving way and say, hey, this is how you need to be in Christ. This is what we want to get you, okay? So you're having a bad day? Get it, but let's not stay there. I want to encourage you. I want to get you where you can feel good about your faith and your walk and what God's doing in your life. So we're going to do that. If you look in your book, though, a couple of things here. We have the 5 love languages for children. If you use the QR code in the book, there are actually 3 love language profiles. 1 for adults, 1 for teens, 1 for children. So I just put that on your radar. If you want your kids to be part of that and participate in that, you can do that. We talked about the books up here. Here's these Hermes. We talked about Gary Chapman. This is the same book. It's just a different cover. It's the same book. Different cover. And if you keep looking, there's a marriage survey. On the back. It's been a long time. It's been like 12 years since we've done this. But if you have found this helpful, let us know. Let us know. Let us know what you found beneficial, what was most helpful in learning this weekend. Also, let us know if this has encouraged you and your spouse. And if so, and you're willing to tell us how or why, please do so. Also, do you have some suggestions on things you might do differently? You know, maybe there are things about this you really like. Maybe there are things that we didn't cover that you would like us to cover. Go ahead and put that there. And then finally, number 4, would you be willing to participate in a marriage seminar next year? All right? Let us know. I think this was $45. Was that reasonable? Would you be willing to pay a little more? And if so, I mean, would you like to go off site? And we can do this here. It'd make it very inexpensive. We can do it, but if you like to go off site, where we go to State College or Williamsport and we get a conference room, if you're willing to do that, and you know, maybe we can raise some money in the budget, but obviously that would cost a little more too for each participant. Just give us some input. I'm just looking for ideas, and we'll go from there. I do believe this: the basic building block to society is the family unit. And the church. Education for our children, even pointing to Christ, begins in the home. Stronger marriages create stronger families. Stronger families create stronger churches. Do you see how that works? So by doing this, you're not just getting the benefit. I believe our church is getting the benefit. Because when we have stronger families, you get stronger churches. And we want Jesus is coming back. And when he does, we want to present to him a bride that's been faithful and strong and resilient and carrying on his ministry. So, anyway, so that's the marriage renewal thing right there. I'm looking at my watch here. We're going to have a breakout session here. We could do a 15-minute one and still pull off, we'll meet in the sanctuary together. We will take the lead off the baptistry. Take the lead off. We're going to grab the water from there. That's the water that's been heating up this morning. And then we'll walk you through the exercise. And Rennie and I, we'll demonstrate first. You kind of see what's happening. And then you have an opportunity, if you want to do that, you're welcome to. We good? Good? All right. Ladies, I invite you to go with Miss Marlene. Joan, we'll stay here. We'll give you 15 minutes. Okay. I'll take your books.
You want to close out here?
That's up to you if you want to.
Well, no, I'm saying we will if you wanted a verbal closeout.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Hey. All right. Hi, dear friends. Thanks for watching with us. And we're going to have a little breakout session. We get a little more private, guys and gals, so we're going to shut this down. Sometimes, folks, at least last night we saw some of the fellows opened up on our end. And we're going to have a foot washing ceremony as well as renew our vows. I've done renewal vow ceremonies before. I've never done it with a foot washing service. Yesterday I was thinking about all this, or this week I was thinking about this, and so I thought, how cool. Really, that's really the ultimate image of devotion, washing each other's feet. Spouses, wives, husbands, washing each other's feet. What a beautiful way to say, I'm committed to you. I'm here to serve you and to love you. And so that's what we're going to be doing next. We wish you the very best. God bless you, and have a nice weekend. Okay.